surprised I haven't told them sooner, to be honest. I had 2 dogs growing up. The first one was a Shetland sheepdog, Keisha. Quick fact, growing up, I didn't know what the breed was called, so I just said Keisha dog. That's what I still call them to this day. I don't have too many memories of Keisha because my parents got her before I was born, and I was too young to remember very much from the few years we coexisted. But my mom and dad have told me stories of us, including one I'm about to share with you. Setting the timeline here, I was really young. But my parents had told me about it many times. So my mom and dad decided that we should all take a nice walk around the neighborhood with Keisha. I was apparently very excited about this and was wanting to go out right at that moment. They told me to slow my roll and wait a bit because they needed to get ready, and we would go out later. But June thought,
Welcome back to your last day on the job. That is the last day of your first week. Some of the most valued qualities that we like to see in new employees are determination, fearlessness, and a genuine disregard for instinctive self-preservation. You've earned your 1-week bonus, which will be given to you in the form of a delightful gift basket, the cost of which will be taken out of your next paycheck. We have gift baskets containing fruit, nuts, flowers, and of course the ever-popular cash basket. Using the keypad below, please enter the first few letters of the gift basket you would like to receive.
And they come out to the front to see their freaking child, dog leash in hand, hightailing it from this police cruiser that's following me down the neighborhood. Everything was
It seems you had some trouble with the keypad. I see what
I was
you were
going to
trying
tell
to
you
type,
too.
and I will autocorrect it for you.
It's always work a little bit when you have an animal and they're young. Just like when you have babies and they're young.
Babies don't at night. They fall asleep.
Yes, they do.
No,
They stay up all night and they will cry and cry and wake you up and cry. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
We went to look at dogs before as a group, but it was never an official decision to go on. So here's the story of when we got our new dog. My dad went to the place to pick him up. We got him from Dog Rescue, which is a recommended place to get animals because you save a life and all that. Try to look into rescues and adoptions of breeders, stuff like that I just mentioned. And when he was holding the dog, getting ready to take him home, the dog started peeing on him. Obviously, my dad didn't want that, so he tried to hold him away from his body. But that made the dog nervous, and he turned around and bit my dad's hand. Not wanting to drop the dog on the floor, he tried to shift him over to the other hand, but he bit that one too.
Let's check on Valora and make sure she's on her stage.
And a dog. I named him Scruffy. Scruffy was a weird little dog, Japanese breed if you're wondering. He hated my dad and loved my mom, who was ironically the only one who didn't want him. He would follow her everywhere, and when she was at work, he'd sit in the living room.
Now
and
let's
do
check
nothing
on
but wait for her
Funtime
to get
Foxing.
back. We always joked that he was just a cat in a dog's body.
Great. It looks like everything is as it should be in Funtime Auditorium. Your task today will involve more maintenance work. Circus Baby had a rough day and is in need of repair. You will be required to reach the parts and service room by once again sneaking through Funtime Auditorium. As always, please proceed with caution.
He freaking jumped out the window of a moving car. We weren't driving fast, mind you, because we weren't on the main road yet. But friggin' heck it, Scruffy, you can't just jump out moving cars whenever you want. He ran into the desert because he was freaked out, and we lost track of him. Of course, my brother and I still had to go to school, but I was pretty messed up for the rest of the day. And by the time I got home, he still wasn't found. This was in summer, too. A little black dog in the Arizona sun without water isn't a good combination. And he definitely wouldn't survive a night with all the coyotes around. It'd be like a little happy meal to him. We drove around looking for him for a long time. I was leaning out the window calling his name. And no, I didn't jump out and run away too. We didn't need 2 family members jumping out of car windows that day, you know what I'm saying? After searching and searching for so long, we were actually trying to research. But we finally found him! Scruffy! Time for a bath. Finding Scruffy again was the biggest rush of relief I've ever experienced in my life. Second time we ran away? This was several years later. We were driving back from visiting my aunt in Tahoe, as I mentioned we do in a previous video. There wasn't just my mom, dad, brother, and Scruffy with us. My dad's dad was with us too. We call him Opa. He's this old, retired, 4'11" horse jockey to give you an image of what he looks like. So we were driving in the middle of the desert on our way home, and we decided to stop at a gas station. My mom and I had to go to the bathroom, so she gave Scruffy to Opa and told him to let him
job to make sure she is structurally stable and secure to the conveyor. Our technicians will take it from there.
Yeah? She sees Opa holding the leash with no dog on the end. Oh, great. Pull up your pants. We're going on a run. Since it was all mostly flat open desert, we were able to see Scruffy still booking it down the side of the road. And since it was a tiny middle of nowhere gas station, the few people that were there were all chasing after him too. Everyone was screaming at each other, "Get the dog! Get the dog!" and running around. What a disaster. The thing is, even though Scruffy was a small dog with tiny legs, he could run. Those things can friggin' run. And when he started running, you couldn't stop him.
5, 6, 7.
Need to run. Where am I going? I don't know. If I just run, I'll get there. You could try the other thing. It wasn't like he was gonna live. After they saw that there was a herd of people chasing this tiny dog down the road, so they turned sideways, opened the big damn car doors. You know, the kind of them talking about the ones that they slide. And Scruffy just jumped in. What? Scruffy, hasn't anyone taught you not to jump into white vans with strangers? They didn't even have to offer you dog treats to get you in there. I could try to lie here and say they closed the door and drove off with the free dog, but they didn't. They gave it back to us. But think about how easily they could have. Oh, thanks for touching our dog. We could have never caught up to him. And that was runaway offense number 2. I don't. Scruffy was a great dog too. And even though it might not seem like it because I only talked about him trying to run away from us, he was going to become a family and we all loved him. If you have an animal, make sure you give him a good pat on the head and tell him you love him. Even if it's a snake. Yeah, snakes want love too. It's sad to hear when animals die. Scruffy dying was the first time I ever had to experience death, and I was really heartbroken when he wasn't with us anymore. But just knowing we gave him a good life and he was a happy little dog helped me feel better. Make sure you give your animal the best life you can while they're still around. All animals deserve to be loved and cared for properly. They aren't your possession. They're a friend and a family member. Give them the right care, the right food, the right toys, the right amount of attention, everything. And make sure you do research beforehand to know exactly what it takes to make sure they're happy and healthy. Too many people impulse buy animals, and the poor thing doesn't end up being treated for correctly. Research and then love. That's the steps. Rest in peace, Gabe. Keep on working, little pal. I've always been an animal lover. Ever since I saw a picture of a dog, I've been like, I want that. I still love and respect animals, but as a kid, it was pretty intense, not gonna lie. Can we get a dog? Can we get a dog? My parents had to sit through years of that until my dad finally couldn't handle it anymore and got me one for my 7th birthday against my mom's will. Before
Great
that,
job
they tried
reading parts
everything
and
to make me
service.
stop.
Circus
besides
Baby has been deactivated for an
and
unknown
by
reason.
everything, I mean a
It's
bunch
your
of
job to
fish.
make sure she is structurally stable and secure to the conveyor.
They'd come home
Our
with 2
technicians
fish
will
from the
take it
pet
from
store
there.
that would last for about a week, die, and then get replaced. Repeat until dog appears. How many fish must die before I get what I want? Since we got fish from the pet store and not an actual breeder, that was probably a big contributing factor on why they died so quickly. But as a 5-year-old, I also just forgot to feed them a lot, so there's gotta be some fish blood on my hands for that. We went through probably 20 fish in the span of a couple months, but eventually we got these 2 goldfish that didn't die. A true miracle. They were pretty resilient little dudes. One was Goldie, and the other was probably named Fishy. Probably some of the most creatively flawless names I've ever known. But after a while, Goldie turned white, so I renamed it Rainbow because I thought it was cool he could change colors. I learned 13 years later from my marine biology teacher that Goldie/Rainbow was probably diseased, which makes the color change less exciting. We eventually gave them away to my mom's friend and they died. But that's all besides the point. My parents got me an army of fish and a dog I named Scruffy, but that was it. I wasn't able to crack them any further than that. And believe me, I tried. My parents had to become stone-faced, emotionless soldiers to keep my non-stop beseeching for more creatures at bay. After they got me a dog, I was pretty satisfied for about a year and a half until I decided I wanted a mouse. Something about their cute little faces and how they crawl with their cute little feet and their freaking ears made me obsess over having one, and my parents got to hear all about it. I asked my parents for a mouse for years, promising how I'd take care of it and blah blah blah, the whole thing. My mom pretty much hates rodents because she thinks their tails are weird, so there was no budging on that one. She tried to get me to stop by saying, "Alright, you can get a mouse, but we'd have to get rid of Scruffy." which is obviously a bad bang for your buck. No, what? No way, I'd never get rid of Scruffy. He's my pal for life. But not gonna lie, after hearing that response over 10 times, I started kind of considering it. I wasn't ever actually gonna do it. I was just getting desperate, alright? When I was 10, I wrote on my Christmas wish list that I wanted a mouse because I thought for some reason I'd foiled their plans and found a loophole. Ha! You can't override the power of the holy Christmas spirit. Christmas morning rolled around and I ran into the living room where all the presents were to not only find no mouse, but a computer mouse. Nice salt in the wound there, Mom. I got my hopes up way too high. My disappointment was immeasurable, and my Christmas was ruined. I did get a computer though, so that was cool. After my parents endured 5 years of me asking for a mouse, I read this book series called Maximum Ride, which was about these teenagers who had bird wings and were on the run to not get captured by the scientists who wanted to keep experimenting on them. It was my favorite book series as a kid, and it made me really like birds.
Great
Which
job
resulted
reaching
in the
parts
next
of
animal
service.
obsession.
Circus Baby has been deactivated for an unknown reason. It's your job to make sure she is structurally stable and
Yes,
secured
I
to the
started
conveyor.
loving birds back
Our
when I was in
technicians will
6th
take it
grade.
from there.
Everyone say a big thanks to James Patterson for creating this bird-obsessed monster. At the time, I wanted one of the big boy birds. A yellow-naped Amazon